Blake Lively, girl, what is actually going on right now? Okay, listen, come closer, because this one is messy, layered, and honestly, kind of shocking. So imagine it's your birthday, you wake up, grab your phone, and boom, court rulings are dropping left and right, and suddenly the whole narrative you've been hearing, it starts cracking a little. That's exactly the vibe right now around Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. So here's what just happened. A judge basically looked at everything and said, wait, are we even sure there was harassment here? Was there actually a smear campaign? And I'm telling you, that right there, that's huge. Because up until now, the whole story has been built around Blake Lively claiming that Justin Baldoni and his people were behind some kind of coordinated takedown. But now the judge is questioning if any of that even existed in the first place. And you can feel the shift already. Like, the energy in this case, completely different now. And it doesn't stop there. Justin Baldoni just got another win right after that. Blake Lively's team dropped, get this, 1,000 pages of documents. 1,000. And not just that, they threw in a list of like 40 witnesses too. And Justin Baldoni's team basically went, okay, this is insane. We need more time to even go through this. And the judge agreed with Justin Baldoni, gave them an extra week. That might sound small, but in legal world, that's not small. That's the judge basically saying, yeah, this is a lot and you deserve time to deal with it. So now people are looking at Blake Lively's move like, was that actually strategy? Or was it just trying to overwhelm the other side? Because dumping that much material right before deadlines, it kind of screams pressure tactic. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. There isn't just one lawsuit in play here. There's like multiple threads all tangled together. And one of the most important ones involves a woman named Stephanie Jones. Stephanie Jones was working in PR. She was connected to Justin Baldoni during the whole It Ends With Us situation. But things got messy, like really messy. At some point, she got access to her employee Jennifer Abel's phone, and somehow that information made its way into Blake Lively's hands and then into the press. And that's where that whole "we can bury anyone" text message comes from. That one line, it basically became the backbone of the entire narrative against Justin Baldoni. But now, Stephanie Jones is being sued too. And the judge just ruled that some of those claims against her, especially defamation, are strong enough to actually go to trial, which is wild because defamation means one thing. Someone is claiming that false information was spread. And the judge even pointed out something really important. If you're accusing someone of defamation, you have to prove that what was said is false. Now think about that for a second. If Blake Lively has been saying there was a smear campaign, doesn't she also have to prove that the information about her was false? And here's the thing that's making people raise eyebrows so far. There's no clear list of actual false articles. Like no concrete examples being pointed to. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni, he was accused of a lot. And now the court is basically opening the door to examine whether those accusations were even true to begin with. And when the judge said that there's currently no solid evidence of harassment or a smear campaign, yeah, that's not a small statement. That's the kind of thing that flips public perception real quick. And the biggest part? Discovery is coming, which means texts, calls, messages, everything between Stephanie Jones, Blake Lively's team, publicists, all of it can potentially come out. And you already know, if there's anything shady in there, it's getting exposed. Now, of course, Stephanie Jones' lawyer is out here telling the press, oh, this is a huge win for us. And honestly, that part is almost funny. Because yes, some claims were dismissed, but the ones that survived, those are the serious ones. Defamation, bad faith conduct. Those are not light accusations. But still, you've got both sides spinning it like they're winning, and meanwhile, the media is eating it up. Headlines everywhere saying Justin Baldoni just scored a big legal win. And if you're watching this like a regular person, not a lawyer, you can kind of see why. because every time a judge allows something to move forward, it usually means there's enough there to take seriously. And now all eyes are on what comes next. Because if discovery starts pulling back layers, this whole thing could get way messier than anyone expected. And wait till you hear about the witness list Blake Lively submitted, because that alone, it's raising a lot of questions. And this witness list, girl, when I tell you it made people pause, I mean it. Because Blake Lively didn't just list a few people who were actually on set or directly involved. No. She came in with over 40 names, and some of them are making everyone go, wait, what do they even know? Like, you're expecting directors, crew members, maybe producers, right? People who were physically there during It Ends With Us. That would make sense. But then you start seeing names like Gigi Hadid. Now, I'm sorry, but what exactly is Gigi Hadid witnessing here? Was she on set? Was she in those meetings? Or is this all secondhand stuff she heard through Blake Lively? Because that's the thing. Being a witness isn't about vibes. It's about what you personally saw or experienced. And then it gets even more confusing. Ryan Reynolds' niece is on the list. His mother is on the list. Blake Lively's own sister is on the list. And you're just sitting there like, okay, so this is turning into a family reunion now, because how are these people directly tied to the alleged harassment or smear campaign? And then there's Hugh Jackman. Now, don't get me wrong, love Hugh, legend, icon, but again, what does Hugh Jackman actually know about what happened between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni on set? Unless everything he knows came from conversations with Blake and Ryan, which legally, that's not the strongest ground, because courts care about firsthand knowledge, not I heard from my friend who heard from someone else. And then Scooter Braun's name pops up too. And that one had people really scratching their heads, because yes, he's connected to crisis management circles, but was he directly involved in this situation? Was he in those rooms? Was he part of those decisions? Or is his name just there because it sounds powerful? Because let's be real for a second. When you drop big celebrity names into a witness list, it does create a certain image. It makes it look like you've got this huge network backing you. But legally, that doesn't always hold up. And this is exactly why people are starting to question Blake Lively's strategy here. Because instead of looking tight and focused, it's starting to feel a little scattered. Like throwing everything at the wall and hoping something sticks. And Justin Baldoni's team saw that immediately. They literally went to the judge and said, this is too much, too late, and we can't properly prepare in time. And the judge agreed with them, which again, another small moment that says a lot. Because judges don't just hand out extensions for no reason. They do it when something actually feels unfair or excessive. So now Justin Baldoni's team has extra time to go through all of this, every document, every name, every claim, and honestly, that might end up being more dangerous for Blake Lively's side than helpful. Because when you give someone time to really dig through your evidence, that's when holes start showing. And then there's something else that's quietly sitting in the background of all this. The reason Justin Baldoni's original lawsuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and even the media got dismissed, a lot of people saw that and thought, oh, that means he had no case, but that's not actually what happened. The judge basically said you can't sue someone for defamation if they're the one who filed a harassment claim first. It's part of something called anti-SLAPP laws, which are designed to protect people who come forward with harassment claims. So it wasn't about whether Justin Baldoni had evidence or not. It was about legal timing. And that's a big difference. Because now, in this separate case involving Stephanie Jones, those same underlying questions are coming back up again. Was there actually harassment? Was there actually a smear campaign? Or was a narrative built and pushed without solid proof? And if it was pushed knowingly, that's where things get serious, because that's where defamation lives. And the judge literally said that claims suggesting Blake Lively may not have been harassed and that there may not have been a smear campaign are strong enough to move forward, which means this isn't just gossip anymore. This is heading into a place where facts are going to be demanded. And then there's the part that honestly made people raise their eyebrows the most. That whole situation with the documents, because Blake Lively's team didn't just submit evidence. They submitted what a lot of people are calling a document dump, 1,000 pages, and a bunch of it, social media posts, random materials, things that may or may not even be directly relevant. And Justin Baldoni's team basically called it out for what they think. It is a tactic to overwhelm them before trial. Because if you flood the other side with too much information at the last minute, you're hoping they won't have time to properly respond. But the judge didn't let that slide, gave Justin Baldoni more time. And now all of this is leading up to the next big moment, the upcoming court conference, where both sides are going to have to show where they really stand. And you can already feel it. Something about this case is shifting. Like the story we were first told isn't holding as strong as it used to. And once discovery really kicks in, that's when everything, every message, every conversation, every move starts coming out into the light. And not everyone is going to like what that light shows. And this is where the whole thing starts to feel uncomfortable in a different way. Because once you step back from the court filings and the legal language, you start asking a very simple question. How far are people willing to go to protect their image? Like, really think about it. Because while all of this is unfolding, there's also this growing conversation online about personality types, manipulation, and how certain people operate when they feel threatened. And I came across something that honestly made this whole situation click in a weird way. There was this interview with a woman who is medically diagnosed as a sociopath. And before anyone jumps, no, this isn't about labeling anyone in this case, but the way she described how she thinks, it made people connect dots. She was sitting there calmly explaining that she doesn't feel guilt, doesn't feel remorse, doesn't experience empathy the way most people do. And instead, her strongest emotions are things like rage, contempt, and disgust. And I'm telling you, the way she described manipulation, chilling.